This is Seawolves. Storm? Or not.
Good Monday, Seawolves. I'm Justin Mitzelmaker. Welcome to the 12th week of the semester. It's getting a lot cooler than when we began in August, but I'm not feeling very chill as finals are rapidly creeping up. This broadcast is a co-production by students at the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences and their friends at the School of Communications and Journalism. I had the fortune of going back home to the city this weekend to see Turandot at the Metropolitan Opera at Lincoln Center. Thankfully, I didn't take the one train 7 stops uptown to Columbia University, where a bomb threat interrupted a sunny autumnal weekend. There were also threats at Cornell and Brown, where buildings were evacuated. Thankfully, our fellow students are safe during these scary times. We're approaching mid-November. To find out what's going on far beyond Stony Brook, we turn to Jocelyn Cruz.
Thanks, Justin. Campus was quite quiet this weekend, unlike Cornell and Columbia University, where they had a bomb threat that disturbed the students' peace. Like yesterday, campus is beautiful. We had some wonderful temperatures. In Scotland, Edinburgh, 3,000 miles east from us, the world's attention is focused at the COP26, an environmental conference, where things aren't so peaceful. We had bagpipes and protests and voices of all kinds. It was mostly young people, our generation, protesting that the old men and women in the meeting hall were moving too slow and did not have a sense of urgency. Some of that stopped today as former President Barack Obama took the podium. But the former president was upbeat and praising more than 100 countries that have signed to an agreement on lowering methane emissions significantly by 2030. Methane gas is bad, but what is methane gas? Methane is a colorless, odorless, and flammable gas that occurs in nature as well as resulting from human activities. Its chemical compound, CH4, consists of one carbon atom surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. Methane is emitted into the atmosphere during the production of coal, natural gas, oil, and agriculture practices. Usually, methane is not toxic to humans unless experienced at a high dosage. It also makes up about 10% of Earth's greenhouse gases and has a 100-year global warming potential, about 25 times more than CO2. By that time, we'll be in our mid-30s, and some of us will probably have families. But for today's forecast, we have Heath Kalb.
Thanks, Jocelyn. It really is gorgeous today. If I were off work, I'd be throwing the pigskin around or going on a bike ride, and I recommend you do the same because there's not a cloud in the sky. We're gonna have highs around 61 degrees as you see here, with lows around 45. It is gonna get chilly tonight. Winds coming from the north at 10 miles an hour, and we'll speak about the 7-day forecast. We're gonna have more of the same the next couple days. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Heath. The weather looks just beautiful today. I brought some heavy coats back to school over the weekend, but I'm happy I won't be needing them just yet. I don't know if our men's football team could say the same while playing up in Maine this weekend. Our Seawolves were hot in the cold with a 22-17 win over the Maine Black Bears, making it a 3-game winning streak. For our basketball lovers, our women's basketball team makes their seasonal debut tomorrow night at the Island Federal Arena against Delaware State. They're ranked number 1 in their conference. One thing they may not worry about is the coastal flooding plaguing parts of the East Coast. We sent out intrepid meteorologist Marlon Quintero to explain.
Thanks, guys. As you can see right behind me, there is a lot of water in the parking lot. That's because it's coming from the Nessequag River to my right. To my left is the embankment, and right behind the embankment is the Long Island Sound, and the Nessequag River drains towards the Long Island Sound. Right now, the water may not look like as high as it was about a couple of minutes ago. That's because it's going through a low tide. And in about a couple hours, there will be a high tide. Mind you, the Nessequag River is 10 miles from Stony Brook. It's very much affected by what's going on in our region. The mid-Atlantic flooding of October 29, 2021 marked the 9th anniversary of Superstorm Sandy that wreaked havoc on the eastern third of the United States. To this day, we have seen more flooding events, but the mid-Atlantic states had suffered its worst event than Sandy, at which heavy rain combined with an astronomical high tide led to an increase in water levels along the Delaware River Valley and areas near the Chesapeake Bay. Right here, I have my ruler with me. It looked like a hole puncher to you, but it's still a ruler. I use it to measure how deep the water is behind me, and it imagine if this were high tide right now, the water would be so deep that it would be enough for me to reach just about 6 inches. Back to you.
Wow, thanks, Marlon. We may not have the kinds of flooding that made Noah build his ark, but I remember the remnants of Hurricane Ida sending water gushing into our student dorms. Outside my window, I could see dumpsters and golf carts floating in the street. Definitely not the weather that gets us excited to go to class. I hope this week's weather isn't too extreme. Heath Kolb is back with the 7-day forecast. Heath?
Thanks, Justin. And we shouldn't be seeing any extreme weather anytime soon. And yeah, today really couldn't get any nicer for the middle of November. We're going to be seeing more of the same the next few days, as we're going to be staying in the lower 60s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and even Thursday. But then on Friday, we're going to be seeing a low pressure system come in from the west that's causing some snow up in the north and Midwest, and thunderstorms down in the south, some of which may be extreme. So Friday and Saturday, we have a chance for some showers, still in the 60s. And then Sunday, after that cold pressure system goes past us, we're going to be in the lower 50s, but sunny. So should be a nice weekend after the showers. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Heath. I needed the good news of warmer weather after the tragedy at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston this weekend that left 8 dead. My heart goes out to all affected, and I hope the ongoing investigation brings justice. That's all we have for you this week. I wonder how many shows these pumpkins last before they start to rot. I'm Justin Mitzelmaker, and make sure to tune in next week to Seawolves Storm or Not.